Ayo, what is going on, you guys? Kanahanjo here, and welcome back to another episode of Magayon. In this episode, we're going to be building Hinabi Global City. But before we get started, make sure you watch the previous episode, the part 1 of this episode, where I built the whole thing out, how I built the houses, how it was all planned, and what inspiration I took and where I took inspiration from in the last episode. But if you guys have already watched the last episode, you can continue on watching. And now we're at the time-lapse part of this episode. Now, before I went into voiceovers, you saw me place these two buildings down. Now, these two buildings will serve as commercial and office spaces, like the central core of the Hinabi Global City. Because as you've seen in the last episode, I showed you the plans which I took inspiration from by Bjarke Ingels' group. I took a lot of inspiration from Bjarke Ingels in the series as a whole. But this time we're taking inspiration from Toyota Woven City. If you want to watch that, link is down below. But essentially these buildings here are going to be the center of this woven city. Hinabi is the name, which is Filipino for woven or weaved, and I just chose Hinabi because Hinabi just sounds, aesthetic. It sounds aesthetic. I don't think anything sounds aesthetic. But anyways, if you notice that there's a little bit of an echo with my recording, it's that because I moved into a new place, a new office. This is where I'm going to be attending school. Wow, new office. I actually used to record on my bedroom, but by the closet, or like when it's like at night, 1 a.m. But now I can record whenever I want. It's 10:30 right now, an alarm clicked. But yeah, anyways, getting back on the video, yes, with the sound tangent done, excuse for a little bit of an echo, that we still have no furniture here. It's quite empty. If you guys want to see like a room tour or whatever, yeah, let's get back to the video. Now you just saw me place those two buildings. Now this is curved once again, and I placed down these pathways. Now these are 2-meter concrete pedestrian pathways that I used node controller to make it wider, because the 4-meter ones were thicker, like the thickness of them, and it doesn't look properly scaled. So as a perfectionist, we just used what we had, which is a 2-meter one, and just stretched them out. Yes, a lot of things have been cut out from this video, because if I were to put like the failed attempts here, we would be here for almost an hour, and I know you don't want to see that. But essentially those failed attempts is I used a 4-meter one, which is a little bit thicker, which is bad, and I did a horrible job at landscaping. It was a moment of my life. It was a moment where I was quite unsure on how I'm going to be tackling this project going forward, because I have been stuck with the Olympic mini series of the series, a series within a series, for even though the Olympics have already ended. So if you guys have any suggestions on what to build in the next episode, because I think I'm going to be leaving Hinabi for the foreseeable future. If you guys want to go back to any of the previous episodes we have done, like the financial center, like residential areas, or the old walled city, comment down below, or anything you want to build in the city. Maybe some reworks, new buildings, who knows. But yeah, now I am adding this roof. The roof is at a slope because it takes inspiration from the Japanese design. As you can see, I'm going to elevate one side of the roof, and the other one is like lower to give it a slope thingy, and I'm going to be covering it with this grass. Now originally, where I'm taking inspiration from, this is supposed to be like solar panels, but if I put solar panels here, the prop count is going to be so high, and those solar panels don't actually work in game, so I don't actually see the value of them. But with this one, we just have 2 nodes, actually 4, the roof, which is the it's the pathway as acting as a roof, and this grass network over it. And I'm just using the segment end controller, which is a part of the node controllers. If you subscribe to the node controller, you'd have segment end controller as well. So if you guys want to get the mods list. The link is already down below. And yeah, I'm also adding this pillar here to give it a little bit more shape, a little bit more character, because it just looked so plain boring, like with those lines, because essentially it's supposed to be like glass all around with these huge pillars on them, but you know, we don't have asset limitations basically. So I'm just using this trick that I used for the similar building that I used the same asset from the earlier episodes, which is the hotel. And I'm adding in these lights as well, because you know, there are no lights that come with this. This is a custom made building, so we have to also put custom lights. Now we have lights that shine upwards, and we have lights that shine downwards. Now these upward lights just give the ceiling from the ground level visibility, and the bottom facing ones are giving the bottom part, the floors, visibility, because if you only have upwards facing light, you won't be able to see where you're going. You'd only see what's up there. So we also have to have lights that light up where you're going, like what lights are supposed to be. They should guide you where you're going. But yeah, doing some fine detailing, fine tuning here and there, because I had issues where I placed the lights, and I think these look amazing. I'm going to be going into a live play later on in the episode. I'm going to be explaining the design of this even more, but for now we are going to be copying and pasting this building, you know, just checking if it looks, you know, if it looks nice, if it looks good. If the height is a little bit high, I'm just gonna sink it down. But the thing is, if I sink it down, there's some terrain issues there. As you can see, the grass turns darker. So the way I fixed this was I removed those buildings and changed them into procedural objects. Now these buildings have no purpose now, but yeah, we're only going for aesthetics, because I'm actually going to be placing commercial here. There's a station here at the end of the video, and it's going to be a central hub for everything you need is here, but we're also going to be having like central parts later on. Now this is the part where I copy and paste the buildings, and then turn them into procedural objects, and then deleted the building thing, and then recolored the PO, and then copy the PO to where the original buildings were, and there you go. That is that. The great thing about procedural objects is that they don't clip to the ground, and they don't cause terrain issues, and at night they light up. Like, all the windows are active at night, so that's amazing, especially for eye candy and all that kind of stuff. So if you guys want your skyscrapers in your city to look illuminated at night all the time, change them to procedural objects and they would work perfectly. But reminder that the props don't snap to the building, because there's essentially no buildings there. And yeah, now we are at the central park of this place. I had 3 various attempts for this. One was where I took direct inspiration from the plans. The first one was just me trying to Gardens by the Bay, but that was too much. We have a specific area which we're going to be placing the Gardens by the Bay build. And the next trial, I tried to follow the original plan by Bjarke Ingels, but it didn't fit in with the context of this place. And now I just decided to follow the cardinal signs, like north, south, east, west, across here, because I want the views from the central part of this thing to have gorgeous views. We love symmetry. A lot of this city, because this build is very symmetrical, I want to continue the theme of symmetry across the entire build. So the park is going to have a road going north-south alignment, and a pathway going east-west. So you'd see that there. I'm also making the connections here smoother, because why not? Literally no cars are allowed inside this park. There's only walking people who walk. Bikes are also allowed on specific parts, but yeah, I don't think I'm actually going to go through with the separated street system that was originally planned by Bjarke Ingels, because of asset limitations and the amount of time that I have, because university has actually started and we have scheduled this video. I have finished up a schedule. I think I'm going to be uploading on Saturdays at 8 p.m. Philippine Standard Time, but this video is going up a little bit late because of issues. We're still smoothing things out, as you can see. Smoothing things out. Yeah, I placed a station right there, and it connects directly to the citywide metro network. As you can see, go. It ends. It's an end station that follows the circumferential road network. It's like the MRT in the Philippines for my Philippine viewer, and it takes you anywhere in the city you want except the waterfront, because if you want to go through the waterfront, you can just bike, and the waterfront is so close. But yeah, now I'm doing these detailings here, placing parks here, because I just wanted to give this a little bit more of a natural vibe. I don't want it to be too artificial. I want it to look like it just grows, and I'm keeping most of the buildings on the peripheries, and I want to keep the central part of this quite open so that when you walk into the central fountain, you can see the views of the city, of the skyline. You can see the buildings. There are unobstructed views of the buildings, of the corners, because yeah, we want to have a lot of nice views. You'd see later, again, in the cinematics, you actually have a cinematics for this episode, by the way. In the cinematics, you'd see the gorgeous views this place has, especially in first person. But, you know, yes, that's it. But I don't know what to say. Anyways, yeah, let's get back to the video. I got out of topic there. Now we're adding in these benches with tables so that people can sit down, and also these secondary roads. Now these roads are just like additional roads. I had a hard time like designing what should these roads look like. Should they be circular? And I decided that they should be, a secondary road should be parallel the central roundabout, and we're just gonna have curving roads going through the same directions, like twisting to the right from the corners into the center through the various different parts. And after detailing this, like filling it with trees and all of this and all of that, everything just made sense. And the trees that I'm using here, if you guys want to check the trees, the asset list out, I will be posting them publicly once we reach 3,000 subscribers, which we are super close to reaching. But if you guys want to have early access to it, I already have it on my Patreon page, early for all patrons, for tier 2 patrons basically. If you are Timawa and above, you can get access to everything Magayon. And yeah, I'm just going to be detailing this all in. I'm leaving the central parts like bushes and low density, basta. It has to be short foliage, and we're keeping the big trees on the sides. Now I got heavy with the detailing here because it's a central park. It's a centerpiece of a city. We're going to be adding a lot of detailing in central parts of the cities because this is essentially where people are going to be spending more time with, and if it's just residential, we're just gonna keep it to the bare minimum. I'm also adding a lot of tropical ambiance to this, coconut trees, banana trees, but I still resort to using my favorite trees so far, which are these hazel trees. They come in various different sizes, and the size of them are perfect for the urban context because they're also like quite larger trees everywhere, and they don't fit the urban context we have here. They are like perfectly scaled for what we're doing here. And now I'm just basically filling in the empty gaps with more trees because trees don't hurt, and I'm going to be going into more detail in the live play. But mind you, my voice is a little bit here because it was like 3 a.m. when I recorded this. And welcome back to the live play. So you just saw me finish up this, like the central park. Essentially this is like the part 2 of episode 38. Episode 38 is the entire village because we're still going to be fixing some stuff, because in this episode I only focused on this. This was how much I could do with the limited time that I have. I also did this noise protection. I should probably stay away from that because it's so noisy. It's essentially a noise barrier for the highway between the city, because if you go here, it's quite far away from the roads themselves, like the highway. It's much farther. Oh, people don't have water. Let's turn off the complaints. Haha, silence the people. It's a fascist state. It's the Philippines, char. Anyway, so noise pollution. There's not that much noise pollution. Maybe I just have the volume up. But anyways, why do we have so many buses? Oh, those are trucks. Those are not buses. But yeah, we're also going to be fixing this side because, you know, This is not good. This is not at all good. No, no. We're still gonna be extending this woven city into this part, which is the water. I'm still not quite sure what to build here. I want to build an extension of this, like this shopping mall, because the central core of the woven city is going to be commercial space, and the main roads connecting them are this one in the middle, and then this one as well, and we're gonna be extending that there. And we have this high-speed rail line that goes into the port of the city. Yes, we have that going into the port. And then we have this like 2 train hubs. I don't think anyone's using them, but I also plan on connecting this up here and then extending this further into the city. I'm not sure, but we have a lot of things to do in the city still. But yeah, this is what I've done so far. I'm gonna be going on first person so that we get a much closer look into this build. So we're gonna be going down. I don't know why the mouse is still visible. Yeah, we're gonna be looking at it from a different place. Yeah, this is the highway dividing up the yeah, okay, let's first start with the Olympic Stadium, because this is where the athletes, this is how the athletes are essentially going to be going to the village. Now if you look at it from this side, even though the area in front of it is still not built, it's going to be office spaces and commercial, I think, like headquarters, and those are going to be the homes of the athletes. I mean, just looking at it from the Olympic Village, as you can see, it's very flat. It's not obstructing the views anywhere. It's just there. It blends seamlessly. And there's this cute little building that I placed here, but I think it's going to be like very important. I'm still not sure on what that is. Oh, this is how people are going into the stadium, by the way. They do this like very, which is so cool. Like, imagine just driving your way into the stadium, and then when you enter the stadium, you'll be greeted by a giant globe. Sponsored by Smart Char. The globe is rotating, by the way, even though it has these 3 pillars here. I don't know. Yeah, we also have an Apple store in front of it, because why not? I don't know why I placed trees in front of it. Maybe because Apple likes that. Yeah, this is how you get the parking into the stadium. We have a very expansive part here. I decided to keep it open because people are going to be watching the games, and we have those LED billboards. They are supposed to be bigger. They're supposed to be just like one huge LED screen, but I don't know how to do that. I mean, I know how to do them, but I want it to be, animated. So if you guys have any suggestions, I might do them. I might not. Probably not, because I'm not focused on heavy detailing in the city. But yeah, the view of this stadium right here is just gorgeous. It's amazing. But yeah, this is the stadium. So we have a bike network. I still haven't connected the bike network, by the way. This is the Magayon trail. People who are cycling, they can use this like that. And then look at this amazing view. Like, if you live in Magayon, you would have gorgeous views everywhere you go. I just, I can never underestimate the amount of views you'd have in the city. The aquatic center is like a spaceship, or like something that's about to fly away. And I also extended the wings of it with the gym asset. But yeah, look at the view of Mayon volcano. Look at the view of Mayon volcano from the Olympic fountain, Olympic Park, and those are like private residences. And yeah, it's surprising. This new way that I'm recording is allowing me to record smoother live plays than ever before. So I think we are going to be able to have like a city tour by episode 50, I think, or episode 40. We'll see. But yeah, that's downtown Magayon. That's the old city, I guess. I mean, no, that is Silangan, the western part of the city. We're gonna be having more skyscrapers centered around the circumferential road, which is like the EDSA of Magayon, but we still have no name for that. But yeah, essentially this is how they're gonna be connecting. We still have that. We still have a lot of things to build, a lot of cars. I think there's a game. But essentially we have this metro line. You see that train entering the metro line. That goes into the woven city underground. It goes under here, under the water, under here, under that, under this, until you get to here. This is where the station is. That's why there's a lot of people here. You're not supposed to be here. No cars are supposed to be here. Yeah, there's a station here. I probably should put like a station entrance here. But yeah. Hello. What are you doing here? Anyways, yeah, is it La Central Park? It's super cozy. It's super calm. It's like the most quiet part of this city because it's just dedicated for just pure serenity. A little bit of an ASMR for you guys. This fountain here is so gorgeous. It's so amazing. And we have like banana leaves and like the vibe here, the vibes, just the vibes. I'd like to stay here for as long as I can. Probably here. I'd be staying here. Underneath here. Just looking at the vibes, just eating here, or maybe here. Probably I'll be staying here because there's a lot of restaurants here and I'm gonna be eating a lot. We have pop soda, but I think I'm gonna be buying from Yakisoba. We have a cafe. This is not a zoo, by the way. It's just we're using vanilla assets. We're making do with what we have, and there's like a little playground there. The design of these buildings, by the way, if you haven't noticed, is it's kind of giving me Japanese vibes because the Woven City is by Toyota. I mean, yes, planned by Bjarke Ingels for Toyota, and it's in Japan. So we have this arching roof. Okay, if you can see this, the roof is curved. It has a slope. So as you're closer to the center, it goes higher, and when you go, it goes lower. And you could see that everywhere because when the layout of the city is that it's supposed to be not too flat and not too tall. So we have varying different heights of buildings, and yeah, on the top of these are gonna be green. I'm not gonna be detailing them anymore, but because you know the game wouldn't like it, and we still have a lot of things to build in the city, and I think I balanced out the amount of detail with the amount of performance that we get for the city. I'm very satisfied with how this turned out. Like the way you walk, there's like this dividing thing, and it's just amazing to walk here. You know, imagine just walking here. Yeah, and also these are actually designed for like self-driving cars to go up, but we don't have that, so here's just me trying to go up these stairs. Anyways, I think that's it. This is all I have for you guys this episode. If you guys enjoyed this episode, please give this video a big thumbs up, comment down below what you want to see next, and of course, don't forget to subscribe. If you want to support this channel even more, consider becoming a patron on patreon.com/Calejandro and get exclusive content, early access to my asset list, which I will be posting once we hit 3,000 subscribers. We're almost at 3,000 subscribers, so if you subscribe, it would be better for you and for me and the entire human race, because there are people dying. If we care enough for the living, make a better place for you and for me. So yeah, this is Calejandro signing off. Bye.